This lighting's rather spooky. I don't like it. Welcome back to my channel. Don't expect anything cheerful in this video because it's gonna be a little bit of a negative, not negative, it's just gonna be a truthful reality check in with you guys. I haven't done an updated video in some time, and I feel like update videos only come about when something really good or something really bad happens in someone's life, so I'll give you a clue. It's one of them. Things have been weird in many ways. There's been lots of changes and things going on that's unusual, scary, sad, interesting. As you watch this video, I'm probably on my way to Cyprus or in Cyprus for a holiday that I'm going on with my boyfriend, which literally couldn't have come at a better and worse time. I'll explain that in a minute. I feel like I need a holiday right now. Mentally, my brain is a little bit off anyway. Like, I'm not being very productive anyway, so I may as well go and enjoy a holiday while I can to recharge and sort my life out. Not sort my life out, because you don't do that on holiday, but you sort your brain and your like mental health out when you're on a holiday. I feel like I need to do that right now. January was interesting because everyone is sad in January. February was nice. I couldn't believe it when I clicked on my phone and it said March. I was like, where did February go? And then this little munchkin here. Welcome to Flossie, my dog. I got a dog. That is something I never expected myself to say within the month of March. Hello, darling. She, as you can tell, is a Jack Russell. A dog that I never thought that I would have such a close bond with, but I absolutely love her to pieces. Oh, this is gonna sound very corny, but she's kind of taught me to have a little check with myself. You know, she's an old dog. She's like 100 and something in dog years. She's like deaf, she's almost blind, but she's so just chill, and she chills me out, and I'm always at home working on bits and pieces, and she's just always by my feet, and she just, you know, wants a little bit of attention every now and again, and it helps me feel better. She's very calming, and her little pitter patter on the kitchen floor is just a lovely noise to hear when I'm getting too worked up on like stupid projects and stuff. She's very quiet, she never barks or anything. So the reason I have Flossie in my life is actually due to a very sad situation in my family. I can't believe I'm saying this. I haven't said this on a video yet because I'm finding it very hard to say out loud because I don't really believe it. It's just a very hard thing for me to talk about, but I lost my nan a couple weeks ago now, and this was her baby. I love how Flossie walks off like, yeah, I know. And now I'm stuck with you and I hate my life. It's funny because I actually used to be really scared of her, like petrified of her. She never used to let anyone near her bed. Like if you even just approached her bed, she would like growl at you and just like threaten you. And now she's just the most adorable little thing. Look at her right now. Do you want to say hi? Ooh, who's that? You don't want to say hi? Oh, yeah. Where's she going? Oh, okay. She's like, no, I'd rather just walk down this fun looking tunnel down here rather than talk to any of you, which is fine. I'm completely the same actually. I bet you anything she's just about to lie down and have a little nap behind the sofa. She's getting comfortable. Yep. Oh. Anyway, point is, it's an awful situation, but something good has come from it, I suppose. Like, she's adorable and she's probably not going to be here for very long. So I've spoken about this briefly in a few videos in the past on my on my experience with losing a lot of family members, uncles, granddads, another nan, like my dad's mum. This was my mum's mum, and I've had my fair share of like learning how to, you know, get over things, accept the way things are, and just sort of take life as it comes and all that. I felt like this was a little bit different because of how close I was to my nan. And the worst thing about things like funerals and that is you're reminded about how close you were to that person you lost, and you were kind of like reminded how much you probably meant to them and how much they mean to you. And like funerals teach you things about people that you had no idea of. Like I learned so much about my nan at her funeral because of the words people were saying about her and things that were mentioned, and pictures and stuff. Like pictures are always, you know, dug up and spoken about when someone dies, and it's sad that's the case when they're gone. Like I wish people would come together and I wish people would make the efforts they do for funerals when they're alive. Like why can't my family come together like they do for funerals at a time other than a funeral, you know? It just makes me sad because every time I go to a funeral I'm like, they would have loved this. How weird does that sound? Like, oh, they would have loved their own funeral, but they would have loved to seen all these people, and like I wish people would kind of tell each other that someone means a lot to them without them having to be dead. I guess this is just me saying to you to make sure that you're giving people time, and you're making sure that you are showing your love for people in your life. I'm not going to whip out that famous line of life is short and you never know when the time will come, because everyone knows that already. But what I do want to say is sometimes we get busy, caught up with life and stresses and worries. I feel like with what I do, I love what I do. I love, you know, you guys know what I do. I make fun videos, I do live streams, I have amazing people who support me on Patreon. Literally, I mention you a lot. Yes, it probably is frustrating, but those people are the reason I can do what I do. But sometimes I get in a panic about just getting in a big worry about what people might think about at events and social gatherings, and what do my friends think about it. And it would worry me if I went to go see my nan and if she's disappointed in what I'm doing, and whether, I don't know. I think the bottom line is, to anyone who is coming to the end of their life, I don't think the thing that comes to their mind is going to be, I should have worked harder, or I should have thought more about what other people thought about me, or I saw my family too much, I saw my friends too much. And I'm not saying I never saw my nan enough, like I feel like I did, that's why we were so close, and that's why our family was so close to her, like we saw her a lot. But you know, at the end of the day, at the end of life, at the end of whatever it is that we're all doing and thinking we know what we're doing, we're all here just to enjoy ourselves, to love each other, help each other grow, and to inspire each other, empower each other, and pick each other up and build each other up. Yeah, I don't really know where this is going, but that's the sort of way this just happened to flow. I guess what I'm saying here is this whole time in my life at the moment is there's so many changes happening. Obviously for the next few months we're gonna have to be selling my nan's house and going through all her belongings and just sorting all of that out. And then obviously we've got her dog, and every time I see Flossie, as much as she's lovely, it's just, you know, it's a constant reminder that Nan hasn't completely gone. Like, she's left a big chunk of herself with us, which is her dog. My nan always had dogs, like, God, she's like the dog queen. So yeah, that's been really difficult. So what I was saying about the holiday, how it's come at a really good time but also a bad time. Mentally, I feel like it's come at a really good time, because I do need this sort of break away from all of this stuff, and then I could come back refreshed. But financially, like, it's probably the worst timing, because things are really hard on YouTube at the moment. Things are very difficult. Yes, I only make a small amount of earnings on Patreon, but honestly that has kept me going. If I didn't have that tiny little like chunk there, then I would just have to call it quits. I truly think I would have, because YouTube's been a little bit shite at the moment, and it's just getting worse and worse. I haven't seen improvement for 2 years now. I've had conversations with YouTube about what it is that I can do to help my channel, but they don't really help too much. If I'm going to be honest, views and engagement is becoming more and more of a struggle, and it's getting more and more difficult and demotivating, and it's making the love for what I do die slowly and surely. So where I see myself at the end of this year, I have no idea. I don't even know whether I'm just going to keep on going at something that I feel like maybe just dying or dead. There's a lot of changes happening right now. I'll always be here, obviously, but I probably won't be doing things as often. Maybe by the end of this year, perhaps I'll be branching off somewhere else, doing something else. But I do want to thank Patreon people, not just for the like money you're giving me every month, but the people who are on my Patreon are usually the people who buy my shirts. You're usually the people who go to my live streams, and you're like the hardcore regulars. So I'm just saying thank you to you in general for just doing the things you do. A holiday will be fantastic right now. When I'm going to pay that off, I don't bloody know. If I'm going to move out this year anymore, I don't know, because things have really like gone downhill. So, like for the past couple months, like things have really gone a bit shite. So but we'll see. I'll figure it out what it is I want to do. I feel like I've just left uni again. Like when I left uni, I was really panicky about what I wanted to do after uni, and in the end I turned out fine, and I was making like enough money to get me by. I don't know, things are a little bit different now. So as well as like the whole thing of my nan. Like I'm not just, I feel like when she died I also felt myself grieving my granddad as well, because when my granddad died I still had my nan around. So like sure, I was sad about my granddad, but my nan was there and those two were always like together, so I felt like I still had a little part of my granddad. But now my nan's died, it's like I feel like I'm grieving two people at once. It was really difficult just to see her home without her in it, and to see her belongings be sold or just not used by her. It's horrible. But this time out of every time I've been on Earth, I've never like wanted to know full-blown proof of the afterlife, because I really would like to know if she's okay. I had a dream of her the other day after having a conversation with Adam in bed. I said to Adam, the weirdest thing about when someone dies is the thought of never seeing that face ever again, never seeing her body, never seeing her smile, hair, voice, like all those things. It just, that's the hardest part. It's just to get your head around that. And that night I had a dream that my nan was sat in this very room here, and she turned to me and was like, what are you talking about? You won't see me ever again. You will. And it gives me goosebumps just saying that now, and it was just really nice, whether that was just my brain trying to make me feel better or whether it was my nan trying to say that. Some of my fellow spiritualists out there would believe that was her, but regardless, it was just a nice little reminder to say, hey Ellie, when you die, there's gonna be a lot of people waiting for you over here, so don't worry about death. I worry about death quite a lot. Does anyone else worry about how they're gonna die? I've been thinking a lot about the afterlife recently. One of our hamsters, you know, our hamsters that have been in videos and stuff, they were in the video I posted not long ago on Adam's birthday where we cleaned the cage out. They were both in that video, and one of those had recently died. I just found them in the cage dead. That was sad, and I know it's only a hamster, but I was a bit like, oh god, I was responsible for this animal. You start thinking, did I do something wrong? But yeah, I've been thinking about like, oh, do hamsters go to hammy heaven? And also another thing that's like making me feel very uncomfortable about this whole situation is I know she was a nan and she was like 90 plus, 92 I think. That doesn't take anything away from losing them, you know? I know most people would say, well, they had a good life, and yeah, I've reminded myself of that. I'm like, she had a great life. Like, she bloody loved her cruises and she spent all the money she wanted wherever she wanted, and damn girl, like, you're my idol. Like, I look up to that. I say that as if she's in the room then, that was weird. I hope she is. She was sort of in my Christmas vlog. I spent my last Christmas day with her, which I'm so glad I did. She was in that video, but like not purely just her. Like, she was around the dinner table with us, so you probably could spot her in that video if you wanted to have a little look. But she was a beautiful lady and I loved her. Anyway, the thing that makes this most difficult is, yes, she was older, but it was unexpected still. She walked out of the door when I last saw her, and I never was going to see her again. And that is a very hard pill to swallow. You can never prepare someone for that. And most people that I've had die in my family, there was a moment of me thinking, I might not see you again, because they were ill. Like, most people I know got ill and then they died, but she didn't really get ill. My mum went over to her house and she had had a stroke. Next minute, she falls asleep into a heavy sleep. They take her to hospital. She's in bed for a few hours. She passes away. I just really hope she's with my granddad. I saw a piece of my nan die when my granddad died, and I remember one of the last things I heard my granddad saying to her was, I'm not gonna leave you, I'm not gonna leave you. And she was on his bedside like, you can't leave, like, we've got so many plans, we've got so many things we wanted to do, and they just moved into a new house, and like, yeah, my nan, she wasn't as happy as she was when my granddad was alive. I could tell. Every time I went to go see her, I could sense that. And now I'm really just hoping they're together. I want evidence and proof to know that they're together, but I won't get that. I'm gonna be on holiday thinking about life and death. I guess I'll see you around on my Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. And yeah, I hope you guys are well, and I hope you're having a lovely March. I'll be okay. Just need to get my like funk back. I need to get my passion back. And I mean, I've got lots of vlogs coming up. I'm going to be doing daily vlogs for my holiday in Pathos. I guess they will be big updates, because you'll be like, I feel like vlogs, move around vlogs are update videos, because you're getting like a live up-to-date version of me. So that would be cool. Butlins was also an amazing trip I had with my sisters. I vlogged that, and that was really nice because we were all so fresh with this news, like this bad news, and we all went away as sisters, and it was just nice to forget about things for that moment in time. And yes, we came back and reality hit us, but it was nice just to like love each other on this holiday. That sounds cringy, but it was. And it's just sad that my sister, she only recently came back from Australia for her honeymoon, and she had to be hit with the sad news. Like, the sad news had happened when my sister was on her honeymoon, so it was horrible to tell her when she got back. But yeah, we get through it as a family because that's what we gotta do, and that's what families do. I love you guys, and I hope you're having a lovely March weekend, whatever it is, and I'll see you very soon. Mwah.